I just noticed that. I just
I just
noticed.
noticed too. We're twinsies.
Okay, this
That's funny. We're both
man,
on button too.
yeah. This is black to behind the thing.
It's like our mom, like we're twins. Our mom dressed us up in the same clothes before
Okay, now,
taking us out.
okay, this is a little. It never happened before. This is not on purpose, you guys. This is. Should I go change a shirt? No, you go.
No,
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 you
no.
go
It'll be
change a
fun.
shirt. You go.
It'll be fun. I'll stay here.
This is kind of funny, man. This is on the verge of ridiculous funny. All right. Well, let's try to
Try not to be distracted by my shirt.
No, I'm not sure who's talking now. Now, is it you or me? Wow, this is funny. If we had, you know what, if we just had like a different t-shirt underneath, that would totally be
Not
fine,
even.
but
Not even. Same t-shirt underneath even.
oh boy. All right, all right, all right. We will overcome. Uh
Even this challenge, really.
Welcome everybody to the Great Transition. We should welcome you wherever you are watching in the world. Let us know where you're watching from. We love to see that all those different places around the world connecting to the same thought here. And the thought we want to have here is an out of the box original thought. What if everything that is happening right now to humanity, to the world, to our societies, in every realm of human engagement, COVID, the economy, leaders, politics, the news, the weather, whatever. What if all of that has some sort of a purpose, reason, direction, trajectory to which everything is moving? If there is one, then we are all bound by its force and quality and purpose. And if that's the case, then it means that we should look at each other beyond and above our political differences, religious differences, cultural differences, and try to figure out where we're all moving together. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. If you're new here, welcome to the Great Transition. How are you, man? Seth, what are
Good.
we yeah, was that an acceptable intro?
That was very nice. That was very nice. Um,
All right.
the it
Need to
the
know is saying need to know is saying that that he's saying your wives are secretly collaborating on you guys. That's a,
we should
that's a funny thing. Yeah.
maybe it could be
Yeah.
maybe it could be our thing. Maybe we can do coordinated outfits going forward.
Uh,
It could be like our signature thing. We wear the same outfit together. Um, okay. It seems that and we said it, we've been saying it for 8 months, but it seems like the authorities are now saying that this COVID may not go away. Of
yeah.
course, we understand
Yeah.
when it can go away and the conditions under which it will go away. But as far as, laissez-faire, let things go as they will, let the market decide, let the people vote, let
Mm.
the whatever, that way, this virus is not going away so fast is what it seems like now. And even you see major news outlets, which it's hard to believe them about anything, but saying this is a new way of life, get used to it.
Yeah,
So
here it's very worrisome, concerning. It's very serious here. I see people are joining us from all over the place, from a bunch of different people in the States and a few countries in Europe and other places. And I'm here in Israel, and I can tell you this: we are probably the number one country, it seems, in terms of the speed at which we have vaccinated the population. I think we are quote unquote winning that contest, and the result
mhm.
is
How's it
the
feel to be a
other.
winner?
As so, this is exactly the thing. We're not winning anything when it comes to morbidity rates. which is very weird because everyone is getting vaccinated, and at the moment, at this stage, the professors from our epidemiologists are saying, well, the morbidity rates are not going down, and in fact,
Hold
yesterday,
on. Hold on.
yeah,
Is morbidity not going down because there's a new strain or the same old virus? We added the
all
vaccine and it's still not going down.
all they know is that the response, it's still early to say. I have to say that it's still early to say, but the response they were expecting, um, is not, they not necessarily expecting but looking for, whether it will happen or not, it's not happening at the moment. It might still, there might still be an effect, but it's not by any chance an immediate one. And in fact, and that means basically that now we're in the third lockdown. It's been extended. It's going to probably, maybe we'll know on Friday if it's extended even more. And the professors and the experts are saying, yeah, we got to really talk about the next one already. So they know that this is not just going away, even with the majority of the population vaccinated. So this is a serious thing. In fact, today or the day before, there was, I don't, it's in Hebrew because it's about what's happening here. There is a dramatic rise, and this is very worrisome, in the infection of babies. So babies before 2 years old, and that, they say, is the mutations and the variations of COVID. That's what is happening. So this is a serious
Okay.
thing. There's
So
another
COVID.
thing that I saw more, just another point of COVID news, just from me getting articles that people send me. There's this expert, like this is a world-renowned expert epidemiologist, another one, who says that we might now just be close to a new surge because of the mutations, which is something we didn't have in the first year. Now we might be having a few mutations working at the same time, basically bringing us down to the knees, and this might become the surge of infections rate going up in all countries like we've never seen yet with this pandemic. This is a Dr. Osterholm, if you want to look it up. And so anyway,
So
we
we were we,
all of those ideas that we might be done with COVID like within a year even. They're you know it's not happening. This is not what's happening. We are in a process. It's gradually paralyzing all kinds of plans that we have. It's gradually stifling our current economies in the current way they work. It's gradually forcing us to think long term about the pandemic. And this is, anyway. Keep going. You just opened up a can here that I can keep going on and on about. Yeah.
okay. So it's clear to us. So what we've been talking about here is the where this virus comes from. That's what's been going on in this show for months, back in the earlier episodes. Why this comes to humanity, the benefit of this coming to humanity, how to look at everything through the big picture, and then we juxtapose that by zooming in and being on the ground. So on the ground, it looks like COVID is not going away. In fact, um, it may be new waves coming,
Yeah.
things that are going away in the pre-COVID world. It seem that we were very unsanitary in the pre-COVID world. Now that you think about how sanitary we've become, like
It's
you
it,
open a doorknob. Yeah, you
mhm.
go like to a shopping mall, you open the doorknob, right? And then you like get a piece of food out from your tooth afterwards, after holding on to the doorknob, or like you push the button on the elevator and then you like scratch your eye afterwards, after 50,000 people push that button.
I'll
So
tell you what it is. It's a psychological experiment, is what it is. Like it shows us how interesting it is that when you become aware of something and concerned about something and more alert to something, you suddenly see more of it. and
Yeah.
you understand more and more about it. Suddenly there's like a world of sanitation, a world of personal hygiene that you're
Not that
more
it's good or
aware
bad
of.
though, because
Yeah,
the babies who end up putting things in their mouth all the time
like
end up with a strong immune system, and the parents who never let the
right.
kids put anything in their mouth, these kids end up with all kind of their
Well,
gut bacteria, their gut biome doesn't develop correctly, and things
sure.
like that. So
There's also explanations about social distancing and the problem that it may cause to our immune system, because the fact that
because we don't get enough to
we come in contact with, I come in contact with your germs, you come in contact with mine, and that kind of helps us build immunity to some extent. And in any case, clearly, it's clear that there needs to be integration between people and people and nature. However, the quality of that integration is evolving, and if there is such a massive paralysis that is happening on the interrelations, interconnections, interactions between humans across the globe right now, ushered because of this global pandemic, that just has to say that it's an indication of our relationships globally, and in every aspect of human engagement, they are going through some sort of an evolution, some sort of an upgrade, some sort of a change. You know what I mean? Because this COVID, beyond just being making people sick, it's forcing us to change our interactions.
okay,
Anyways,
so
yeah.
the here's a good example of that, is as far as forcing us to change our interactions. Many things have changed. Let's just take 2020 for example. The kind of business, there was many businesses that filed for bankruptcy since COVID came. Okay, so of course hotels, of course restaurants, home goods stores, Cirque du Soleil. You have Cirque du Soleil in Israel?
You know what's funny? It was coming to Israel. It was supposed to come. My wife was like, "We have to send our kids. They,
Very
they
cool.
have to
It's
they
super
have to
cool.
see
Yeah,
it."
yeah.
Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Really? Do they
It's
though?"
very cool. It's very
I'm like,
cool.
and like, no, seriously, that's like an argument we had. And she was going like, yeah, we have to. And then COVID came. It was just like, and then it's like, well, maybe. And I was like, okay, see, maybe they didn't need to go
Yeah,
anyway.
God didn't
So,
want us to go see Cirque du Soleil. See? No, you're wrong about that. You should go take the family. It's one of those things where you just see humans doing just the illusions and the artistry. It's inspiring.
okay.
Some are better than others. Anyway, that's
I
gone,
am
right?
making the
There's
promise now. If it becomes ever again a possibility in Israel where they're coming here
there'll probably
and
be
they're
better things.
and
Anyway,
then it
okay.
will happen. Okay.
I support you doing cultural things with your family. Um, Okay. The gym. People used to go to the gym. Another thing, for example, right? Somebody else sweats all over what is
Right.
this one called?
Sure.
What
Yeah.
is, you laying on your back and you
I
do?
am very ignorant when it comes to names of gym
Oh
devices.
man, what the heck is it called?
Bench.
I don't remember. Bench presses.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
um,
But
so one of
for
the
for
three
a
of us
moment
does
there,
bench presses.
you were impressed by me, huh? But
I was like, oh, how does he know? How secret? Um, so you sweat all over the bench, and then maybe you wipe it down or not, or maybe you move on to your next exercise. Then you do these
right.
things, and the next guy comes and does them. Maybe someone picks his nose or scratches his genitals or his butt or whatever, and then does the next exercise. Then you go to the next gyms, and everyone huffing and puffing on the treadmills next to each other.
Yeah.
Gyms are closed. Uh, we talked about hotels, airlines. Most of the rental car business is based around travel. So if people aren't flying in and out of these airports, rental car businesses go away. Rental car businesses are one of the biggest purchasers of vehicle inventory.
Right.
So it goes down the line. And then the factory workers who worked on those vehicles and the people who made the parts for the vehicle, right on and on and
Yeah.
on. We have something here called Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know if you have it. It's kind of like an arcade. They have like a big pit of little balls that the children's can jump in.
Oh,
They serve you
sure. We
pizza.
have a different
Like an
different names for these things, but it's
Okay, so it's like an arcade, but all kind of games and stuff inside. Gone,
yeah,
gone.
that's done.
Um,
Yeah.
there's a company called Papyrus. They did really nice stationery, pens, wrapping paper, little gifts and things. They have over 250 stores in the United States,
Hmm.
bankrupt.
Right.
So the economy went from all of these things that we can do during this time. It very much changed. While the
Right.
virus doesn't seem to be going away, businesses do seem to be going away. More and more businesses do seem to be going away. And we're getting closer to living a life of necessity more, right? Do I have toilet paper? Do I have food?
Hmm.
Healthcare and heat? Maybe those are the main things. Even the kids, my kids who are doing school from home, they have school from basically like 8 till noon. It's basically like a 4 hour, 5 hour school day online. So these giant buildings in town that used to have staff and heating bills and infrastructure and time. It used to take more time and parking and the gas to get to and fro.
Yeah.
Now the school day is shorter. Everything is on Zoom. We're not going to talk about education right now, but the point is that more and more things are becoming streamlined. Our lives are becoming streamlined. So here's
Yeah,
a
it's like
concept.
it's like nature's sucking the fat out of human lifestyle.
Yeah, right. So here's a concept. Imagine that I went on a website and I picked out the wardrobe I want for the coming week. Okay. And
And
what
let's say it would be a plaid shirt, black and white, with with a
Actually, I'm
black
dark blue. I'm
t-shirt.
sorry to inform you. You may be in black, but I'm more of like a blue. It makes my eyes, it's like a whole.
Oh man.
Okay, so imagine you were able to pick what clothes you want for the week. Okay,
Okay.
and
That's
you
that's
get a box.
purely imaginary, by the way.
Whatever. Suppose you like the same thing every day. Dot, 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 dot. You
Okay,
just
okay,
click down the list
whatever.
of a few things,
Yeah.
and then you get a box at your door with the clothes for the week with a bag in it, and you put out the clothes from the last week, and some service comes around and just gives you. You don't need a closet. You don't need to go
Okay.
shopping. You don't need to order anything. You get your clothes for the week. If you happen to be lifting weights, doing bench presses and stuff, and your shirts are a little bigger, you don't need to go buy more shirts. You just get a little bit of a bigger size. If you put on weight, if you lost weight, and when you're done, you return them and they go back into the thing, and somebody else is getting them. Now, think about this. Maybe you have plenty of storage in your house, so you kept everything from your older kids for the younger kids, but maybe all of the toys, you need
Yeah.
certain toys when the kids are little. And then what do you end up doing? You either find a neighbor to give them to, you find a closet to shove it in, or you throw it out. And then the next family needs to buy. What if there was an economy right now that all these stores are going away? You have no more gyms, the restaurants are going away, all these. What
Okay.
if
So you're pushing communism on me?
uh,
That's what's
I'm not
happening?
pushing anything, I'm painting a picture and we're going to talk about? Okay.
Okay.
Don't you do that. Okay. I'm
Okay, we
putting
did
a
we
picture out
did
there.
promise in the title for this episode that we're gonna
Let me
talk
build
about.
into it, please. I'm
Okay,
trying
okay.
to.
I'm just calming down the angry viewers
Capitalist inside of you.
who are saying they're what are they talking about? I want to make sure that I'm in the right episode. So you are it's coming. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay. So if I could pick any clothes I want, right? Now, how about this? What if I need to get to a meeting or get to an office or get to somewhere, but the other 3 days I don't really need a car? And in fact, maybe I would prefer a nicer car because I'm going to pick somebody up. I don't need to buy a car now. Instead, I'd go on to something like Uber. If I need a ride somewhere, I just call it, it comes. Not even that, I could rent the car, someone could drop it off. I could have the car for a week. I could have the car for a half a day. Why do I need to pay the insurance for an entire year? Why do I need to fuel it
Hmm.
every year? Why do I need to have a garage? Just give me the car when I need the car. When I'm done with the car, I don't need the car,
But
right?
I want my own colors and
No, no, hold
my
on.
own
You can get any color you want,
things.
and I'm not. Hold on. I'm also not getting into all the nuances why it wouldn't work. I'm just painting a picture at first. You can have
Okay.
any color. You can have any amount of seats. You
Sh-
can have any features. So the point is like this: almost anything. You don't need closet space in your house anymore. You want to have, for example, before, I wish I could spin my computer around. I have a whole shelf up here of compact discs, CDs. You're probably too young to know what they are, but it was we used to listen to music. Hold on a second.
No, no,
Hold on, I'm still here. I'm
I
still here.
I had a respectable collection. Okay, I had
Oh,
I. You're
I pulled
bringing
one.
you mean vinyl or just CDs? CDs
I
or
pulled I pulled one down that actually is empty, but there was something that used to go right
so
here.
you're not
This,
even you're not even talking about vinyl, man. Come on, it's not.
no, no, this is after that. This is anyway, music used to come on a disc and you could put it in your car and then it would get scratched and then it wouldn't work anymore. But now, of course, on I have Spotify or YouTube on the phone and I can listen to a million songs. I have, however, any infinite amount of songs right here versus 12 that used to be right here. So I don't own the music
No,
anymore, though.
I'm
I don't
laughing.
own it.
Just I, okay. Just,
Well,
there was nothing in the box, and you.
yeah, that's it. Probably got scratched. I don't know
Go
why.
ahead, man. Just keep. Chris made me laugh. Just go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Um,
He goes like he goes like all you went all the way there to get that box and then there's nothing in the box. What okay, just go.
um, the point is that um, imagine even like the redesigning of a home then, right? I don't need all this I don't need shelf space for all of these CDs, all of my music
Right.
supply. I don't need shelf space. I'm not going to go get it. I have boxes. I have a shelf here of photo albums and boxes of photos, right, from
Yeah.
all the way up until my second child was born. But after that, everything is on the phone, pretty much, right? I've got like a billion photos like on my phone, and we don't have any more of these photo albums. These are tiny things, but the point is that uh, you don't need a car, even clothing. There's a kind of a movement towards, like you have like shared bicycles in your city and shared scooters in Tel Aviv and things
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
like where you don't need to own a bike. So I take a
Yeah.
bike. I need a bike.
The micro transportation revolution has reached our cities as well. Yeah.
Right. So I need a
And
bike. There's a bike outside. I just zap my app, that I open the app. It says I took this bike. I could take it uptown, take it home, and just park it there and just tell the thing where I left the bike, and that's it. I don't need to own a bike anymore. I don't need to deal with servicing the bike anymore. If I have a car that I don't own, that car knows when the tires need to be rotated. That car knows when it needs an oil change, and it just goes in. There's no more traffic there's no more traffic because all of the cars are in a certain network. Now, I'm not saying any of this is good. I'm just saying this is
well, you
recently.
are highlighting the efficient aspects of it. That's what
I'm just,
you're mostly
I'm just
doing.
pointing. I'm pointing out in order to make the argument, or not even the argument. I'm trying to point out without destroying the whole concept, what the concept is in its successful implementation.
Okay, so
There is
you're talking about the potential benefits and advantages and efficiencies and so on of
I don't even want to say
changing.
benefits. What I want to say is that there's this thing called the World Economic Forum, okay, where very, very rich, powerful leaders of countries and businesses get together and they try and understand what's happening in the world and where the world is going. And of course, they're all self-serving people. But one of the concepts that seems to be coming out of there is this
Mm-hmm.
concept. Of course, they would own everything, and we would all be paying them every month.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if it didn't benefit them, they
my
wouldn't be
my
proposing this.
my okay,
But
my question is this: do you want to go to start dissecting specifically the idea of access versus ownership, which you started from, or do you want us to take a stab at the world, at the great reset concept of the World Economic Forum in general? What do you feel
what
like doing?
what I
But
okay, what I feel, good
because
point. And you can, if you can
because
ask me the question
there's a
again.
lot we can sink our teeth into here and give a perspective that you won't hear, people won't hear in other places, I'm sure. But what do we want to
What I'd like
focus
to
on?
what I'd like to first do is just look for a second at where we are, which is the virus isn't going away so fast, and businesses are closing.
Which is something
Okay.
you and I talked about a year ago already. But when a lot of people said this is going away in a month or in 2 months or in 3 months or in 4 months, and we were saying no, this is the great
Yeah, we need to make a
transition. We're
predictions clip
going up.
of all of our predictions.
Well, you want one, here's one. I mean, we're not paying attention that much to how much what COVID demands from us as a response, not just on the creating a vaccine level, but on changing our relationship to each other and nature kind of level. And as long as we don't pay enough attention, then this COVID situation will only worsen. And maybe, just maybe, if we can't pay attention when it hits us softly, now we're going to see it hitting us harder, with less ability to respond, with less ability to contain it, with more babies getting infected, with more paralysis happening in our economic system. Maybe until we start seeing that we're in a single connected system, and we gotta relate differently to this whole situation and how we're moving forward. Anyway, okay, let's just move forward. No, no, no. I was going into a,
I'm
a long,
I'm
a long
slow as
thinking.
molasses now thinking about all of these things. Okay. Uh
Uh,
so wow. Yeah.
World Economic Forum. Okay, World Economic Forum.
First let's just say
That
to everybody that okay, yeah, let's stay on topic here. Let's stay on topic. That's heavy. It's a heavy prediction.
Yes.
What is, let's define the question, let's define the problem,
Okay. Okay.
define the
So
solution here.
I'll okay. Let's try to take it like this. There is so the billionaires, money moguls, and leaders of economies, politicians. They meet once a year in this. Typically, it's in Davos, which is in Switzerland, right? And it's this
Schweidia.
Sweden, not Switzerland.
Oh no,
Swe-
no, that's Switzerland. You're right. I just like
it's
saying
Switzerland.
Schweidia.
Okay, the Schweiz. Schweiz. It's
How do you say Switzerland in Hebrew?
Switzerland is Schweiz. Sweden
Oh,
is Schwedia.
Schweiz. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Anyway, so these mostly super rich people and elected officials, they're meeting, and they are planning their plans on how to save the world, their grand plan to save the world. Every year they give it a new name. This time they called it the Great Reset. And they actually met virtually instead of physically because of COVID. And some of the ideas that they talk about are, on the face of it, on paper, are very revolutionary. They sound like complete game changers, out of the box ideas for what could be a completely new social formation. They talk openly about, and this is like you have the president of France there, and then Germany, and Bill Gates, and all those people, and of course conspiracy around what's actually happening there, and what it is a front for, are also abundant. But they're talking about concepts like you talked about, of no private property, moving to access instead of ownership, basic income for people. What else? Global citizenship, automation and AI becoming something inseparable from our daily
Hold on.
life,
Let's see, Chris.
greener
Hold on a second.
economy. Yeah. Mhm.
What's the opportunity here? What is the opportunity that these people are saying? We
Uh,
enter a unique window of opportunity to
yeah,
reshape the recovery. This initiative will offer insights to help inform all of those determining the future state of of global relations, the direction of national economies, the priorities of societies, the nature of business. Okay, enough. I'm going to vomit. Here's the issue. Here's the problem. The people who are defining these things are the billionaires, are the world leaders.
right. Exactly. So let's talk about, okay, so they come up
They're
with
the
this
ones who got
idea.
us here into this problem. They're the ones who
They,
created all the
well,
problems.
well, they certainly systematically are deep in the ones who are perpetuating the problem. Essentially, why? Because they are in the key positions to shape, manage, and define our
And
economies
they'll definitely
and
not
our social
vote
policies.
for or put forward ideas that
So,
don't enrich themselves.
well,
That would be
hypocrisy is,
impossible.
I would say there's three things to talk about here. Okay, we need to talk about hypocrisy, conspiracy, and complexity. All right, how's that? My analytical mind is has kicked in.
Okay.
I hope you're ready. You're good with that.
I put out the bread. Now you smear the mush on.
Okay, so hypocrisy. Yes, exactly. This is what we're talking about. What you find in those meetings is the oil giants, those who are, who are the billionaires of who made their money because of sucking oil from the planet and fossil fuels. They're talking about solving climate change, right? You have you have the people who are the top of the top of the top of the 1% talking about the problem of inequality, right?
Oh
You
yeah.
have so there's hypocrisy built into the whole thing. It's almost like some sort of a facade, a spectacle where
Here's the
they gather, and
here,
then look at where they gather in this, well, now it's virtual, but they typically just go to this resort, when they schmooze and network between themselves, and on the face of it they're talking about saving the world. How, how authentic is that? I don't think
here's the pro.
anyone, yeah.
Here's the issue, though. On the other hand, we talked a while ago about this mayor of this small town that in New York, upstate New York, where I used to live. He was 26 years old. He was a house painter, progressive guy, cool guy, good looking guy. Did the first same sex marriage ceremony. Very progressive guy, but he went from getting paid by the hour to paint houses to managing an $8 million infrastructure with sewer systems and and police officers and all these things. So on the one hand, the people who are the titans of industry and the world leaders, they have some experience. On the other hand, you want to help the want to create something that works for the people, but the people themselves don't have representation because from amongst the people,
Mm,
they never managed billions
yeah.
of dollars. They never managed the infrastructure of public health of a public health system, right? So that is our show isn't about bashing, and pointing out the hypocrisy of hypocrites. I mean, that's obvious. It's like gravity is gravity and it will be gravity.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it's important. I would say, look, the hypocrisy is there, and I think it's okay to point it out, but with it, we should say that it's not this person or that person who are to blame. That's just how human nature work. Put you, like you say, put a person, move him from point A to point B. The we become what we do. We become the society that influences us. We become the conditions that we're in. And so clearly, if you put, other people in the same positions, you'll get the same result. Because that's just what we're dealing here with. We're dealing with our own nature here, and that's currently what it creates. But
so
it is hypocritical. Yeah.
so you pointed out three things. So one was
Right.
hypocrisy.
Yes. So we
Okay.
okay. So we talked about that. I think it's just
Next one.
important to put it there. So
Hypocrites will be hypocritical. We
right,
got it.
and that brings up the question: can you rely on or even expect that people in the nature of the positions of power that they're in, being the those who perpetuate the same problems that they're talking about solving,
Will
Can you
wealthy people get together and make plans to make themselves less wealthy and others more wealthy?
exactly, you
Probably
have to
not.
so you have to exactly, so it wasn't just about pointing out hypocrisy. You have to then wonder, from looking at the hypocrisy, you have to wonder about how true of a change can they really actually talk about, given that they hold the reins to care about their own interests at the end of the day. Okay, put that aside. Now, that in lack of authenticity and lack of connection to the people, and lack of transparency, and just that distance between who these people are and what they represent, uh, and what's actually happening on the ground. Even if they talk about ideas that could be interesting, if they came from a different place, that could be, we can talk about the substance later. But that leads to a lot of people to feel distrust towards bodies like that and plans like these. And what's interesting, I think, with regards to this great reset idea, is that if you go on Google and look for a great reset, what's it about, and you're going to be bombarded very quickly with all sorts of conspiracy theories from both sides. It's very interesting. So, roughly describing it, I would say you'll hear, people from the like far left kind of theories saying that they're using this to push some sort of technological dictatorship socialist kind of regime. And from the left, you'll hear that they're pushing some sort of a technological dictatorship corporatist kind of regime. Same thing. And then you'll see all kinds of other ideas lumped into these theories, such as 5G, and the robots that when chips implanted in your brain, and all kinds of ideas. And COVID is just a facade, so they can instigate this move a little whole smoother. Anyway, I'm not even going there, and I'm not judging all these theories. All I'm saying is, it's very interesting, the situation here. Hypocrisy is one aspect of it, conspiracy is another aspect of it that we have to put on the table as well. As soon as you talk about something like a great reset, there's a lot of conspiracy from both sides happening with regards to that. That leads me to the last point. That's why I saw these things as three aspects that are
But
connected to
before you
each
get
other.
into the last point, just tell me what it
Yeah.
is.
The three
What was the
things
last
I,
point?
I, I was thinking about.
No, what was the
Hip-
last? What was the last
so
point?
hypocrisy, conspiracy, and complexity. I
So
don't know.
before you get to
I
before,
was just rhyming these ideas.
okay, so lay it on.
Okay, so
What's the
so what
complexity one?
what I'm trying to say is, look, we are, as clearly established, and we talked about it in the beginning of the show. COVID is not going away. The world is changing drastically as we speak. Something global, something all pervasive is happening to human society today. It's not in a certain sector, it's not in a certain realm of human engagement, it's not in a certain place in the world. The whole system is changing. So, it is true that our world must adapt now on a big level. They call it the Great Reset. So some of the points that they point to, some of the flaws of the current systems, the frailties of our economic system, and so on. The fact that they're saying in one of their videos, the World Economic Forum is saying capitalism as we know it is dead. The people who are in these positions of power, again, we already talked about the hypocritical incentives and interests that that put them, of them being in that position, and so on. But being where they are, they do see the instability and fragile nature of what is happening to the world. And in that respect, I think it is absolutely a correct observation. This is why I said this is a complex issue. We were in a very, very unique situation. Yes, we are going through a major transition, And it's only natural that because of its uncertainty, we don't exactly know what is going on. And you see hypocrisy. You don't trust the people who are talking about a great reset. Then conspiracies arise and so on. But we
So
need to look at substance. Just one less. Just try to summarize it. We need to be talking about these ideas of a new economy, of new social policies, of new concept of citizenship. We need to talk about these ideas in a way that is somehow divorced from all of these immediate conspiracy thoughts and
okay, so
and and
let me give you a
capitalism
clear one
versus
then.
communism, and all those knee jerk
Sure.
reactions. So it's just important. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I mean, in a very clear way, you're a business owner, okay,
Yeah.
and you're trying to just keep your small business opening. Okay, you're trying to keep you sell milk and eggs and whatever, and you can support your family. You happen to have a couple employees there who stock the shelves. Now
Okay.
minimum wage goes up to $15, for example, right? These people come in and they want to make everything equal, and so from the top down they decide that, now we're going to pay everybody minimum. We're going to pay everybody, instead of getting paid $10 an hour, now we're going to pay them $15 an hour, right? So somebody comes by my store and says, "Hey, Seth, I see you got a small store here. It looks like between unemployment insurance, between health benefits, between everything, keeping your employee, and you need two employees because you have one working in the morning and one working in the afternoon, two different shifts. You have two employees. You have to give them each health benefits. You have to have unemployment insurance, workers' comp, all these things. How about this? I'm going to sell you for $20,000 an automated checkout machine to put
Mm-hmm.
at the in front. Okay. So
Right.
right now you're currently paying this guy $30,000 a year and this guy $30,000 a year. There you go. Look at that. $15 an hour. Say hello to your replacement. Oy, 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 oy.
Right.
So,
Right.
right. So McDonald's now has to have 2 to 3 employees to work at the cash register. One in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. Each one needs health benefits. Each one, the employer needs workers' comp.
Yeah.
You have to buy uniforms, hats and the masks and the gloves and everything. Or for $20,000, you purchase this machine. It works 24/7. If you need to replace a computer for $50 inside or a part inside, you can do that. And there you go. So there's no real, so part of this, there's plenty conspiracy and everything, but a lot of the change happens very naturally also, you know? And so,
Yes. Yeah. You expect me to pay $15 an hour, get an education, find a real job? I'll flip my own burgers. Yeah. Yeah. No.
so you can have, hold on,
Go ahead.
you can have a robot cook. Like
Yeah.
once the chef programs the thing in there, the robot can flip the burgers 24/7 without needing a break, without a cigarette break, without a bathroom break. You can have robot chefs. You can have a
Right.
robot at the cashier. Many, many jobs, driving trucks, moving things in a warehouse,
Yeah.
and it goes mowing your lawn,
So where are we
cutting the
going?
grass.
Where is it
The
going?
point is, without even crossing into conspiracy land, there's
Mm-hmm.
many things that will happen, many changes that will just naturally happen, which will make people unemployed. And these leaders who don't have a way, like, what's this? A robot cooking. Oh, look at this, a home robot. This isn't even a restaurant.
Right. Right.
Okay, so Chris, we're even taking it to another level. A robot will prepare your meals somewhere else. You'll just need something at home to heat it up, and you'll just every week just order whatever you want. You don't even need a
Oh,
kitchen, just a
okay.
machine to heat everything.
Okay. Let me take this. Try to take this. Bring it kind of another step. The It is a complex situation that we're in, because objectively speaking, technology is only evolving and developing and moving forward. It's
And getting less
going to
expensive, more.
getting less expensive, smaller, more smarter, more
Easy to
capable,
implement.
easy to implement, easy to reproduce, and so on, and more efficient. Gradually, if you look at throughout human history, what we're doing is we're delegating more and more of how we provide for our basic needs to machines and technologies, um, um, and arrangements that take care of these things for us. So it's only natural that we will continue to move along this direction. Now, that of course brings up questions like, what will people be doing? What will then be the purpose of working? How many people will actually need to work? What will be our purpose if not working 80% of our time? All of these questions come to mind. These people in the World Economic Forum talking about the Great Reset, being in the positions of power that they are, they recognize these trends, not just of AI and automation, but also of how interdependent we are becoming across the globe, how certain risks can cause a chain reaction, and therefore how it is imperative in one way or another to move to a situation where we can reduce risks so they can still be in control. Essentially, if you read behind the lines, they're talking about stakeholders of the economy need to cooperate with each other and show leadership.
Stakeholders.
Yeah, exactly, and show leadership, and and they paint this whole future where you'll have everything but nothing will belong to you. You'll get, you'll have no problems, you'll be happy, everything will be provided for you. They just, it's just that line that they don't highlight that says, and we'll stay in power. And essentially that's why we're doing that, because that's it. We might as well do that before it's going to be too complicated to do it. There's essentially people who are in positions of power working to stay there. All that they do and their attempt to collaborate together must be because it helps them further their interests, which are the same.
Okay.
So
So
okay, but this
this is not the
substance.
Alex Jones show, so we have to understand how it
Of
all
course,
fits.
of course. That's just
Okay.
we're not talking. We're not interested in the conspiracy theories and what they do and so on. I'm just talking about openly on what's on the table. Analyze it from the perspective of, it's not this person, that person. It's human nature. It is human nature. That's it. Very simple. So what we need to go through, along with the technological development, along with the change of economics that needs to happen, but it doesn't have to happen as a revolution. It can happen gradually. We need to gradually find what makes sense. Then maybe we'll see that the stress that COVID is exerting on us economically may actually help us figure out what we do need and what we don't necessarily need in a global economy in order to keep people living properly and having what they need. Sure, all of that is objective trends, natural trends that are now happening. You cannot argue with them. You can only decide on how to go about them. And I'm saying,
What are you saying?
I'm saying that in addition to all of these things, we have to change ourselves as well. We have to adapt ourselves, which means how we see and feel each other, and then what does ownership means to us? What does being in a world and working for society actually means to us? That is the true revolution. That's the great reset that needs to happen in order for us to be able to use the technological advancements and new formations of socioeconomics in a way that will actually work in an interdependent world. That's what needs to happen, meaning we have to change in the process. I realize it's a big,
There's a
it's big and
fundamental.
abstract. You want me to try to throw an
Go ahead.
example
Go ahead.
while
Yeah.
we're still on it. Okay, so you talked about access versus ownership in the beginning, right? You were kind of coming at it from this angle, and you were given
I'm
very
saying
good.
you can have everything you want in your life
Right.
pretty much without having to own anything. And in fact, you don't have to go out and buy children's toys when your kids are 2 and then new toys when they're 4. You take the ones you need when you're 2, you return them back, they sanitize them, give them to some other family as a 2-year-old, and you get what you need when you're 4. So you get everything you need and you don't have to buy. Somebody else
Right.
bought.
But if
Okay.
I'm attached to the idea that I gotta have my own thing, I
Mm-hmm.
need to have my
Mm-hmm.
car, not yours, not someone else driving in it, sitting in it, breathing in it. No, I need to have mine, mine, mine. Okay, does that
Mm-hmm.
does that make sense? You feel that?
Okay.
Okay, if I'm attached to that, then it doesn't matter that on the face of it, you're right. Intellectually, you're right. So I need to, and that's just a simple example, right? Think about how in our current society we've trained ourselves to relate material things to our status, to our social place in status in society, to our identity, who we are and what we are. Think about how much we've
So if everyone has
linked.
the access to everything, so what becomes, where is the value become now if it's not about
And
material
what I'm
things?
saying is, you have to work on the revolution of the mind and the heart if you want to also move the needle when it comes to changing how we transact with each other and how we use this material world. See what
So
you understand
here's
what I'm saying? And
I do.
any attempt to try to just say, hey, we could just do public access on cars, or this or this or that. Yeah, but it's just, if you really extrapolate and think about everything that has to change. Sure, you can paint a completely different world, but you got to understand that it's going to be a different human living in this world as well. And that's where we need to put the focus on changing ourselves first. And then the changes will be natural, they won't be forced, and they
Okay, so
won't, yeah.
you said it there. The changes will be natural. So, for example, there are forces in our world such as gravity. There are such forces, although the government is telling us that's not so. There's a force called a boy and a force called a girl, or a man and a woman. And when they get together, they make a baby. There's no other way to make a baby. I don't care. You
Yet.
can call me a refrigerator. I have the
Yet.
ability to make a sperm and a refrigerator doesn't. I don't care what so, uh,
Well, yet
so,
again, yet.
okay. So so far that's the one thing that no robot can do is produce a human life. But there are fundamental forces in nature, and that's the main point that I just took from what you said, because in all of these changes that are happening, what we see is this very kind of top down, some smart people making a plan of how to manage billions of people and how to manage enough energy for billions of people, when nature itself already understands the plan, understands how to manage everything. Nature is managing like billions of stars, billions of planets, everything, right? And here we are, these tiny little ants trying to decide, what's natural, how we're going to manage nature and all these things. So, as we go through this change, if we start to develop ourselves according with the flow of nature's change here, because maybe some of these things that we see from the coming out of the World Economic whatever they're called, what is it called, World Economic
Forum. It's a
Forum,
forum.
okay. um
Yeah.
it's not necessarily that the idea itself is bad. It's the implementation is totally horrible.
The
It's like
implementation who's
communism,
well,
or I hate that word, but the point is, like, okay, let's make a system where everyone has food, whatever system you want to call that. Let's make a system where everyone has whatever they need, all the clothes they need, all the healthcare they need, all the food they need. Like, that would be good, right? But to try and implement something from the top down, it fails. It
yeah,
turns into KGB. It turns into war, right?
exactly.
So, but, but If you are in my home,
You're
open the
saying
fridge,
you're
take
saying
whatever you want.
you're saying the other aspect of it's the other aspect of what I was talking about. So you cannot do a change from top down when it involves the evolution of humans. The only thing you can do is to help, to speed up, to encourage, to nudge that process a little bit from below up, which means educating ourselves,
That's it.
changing our values. That's the only thing we can do. We can just, gradually get used to the idea that our world is changing. It's becoming more interdependent. It's becoming technologically ridiculous not to provide for our basic needs. It's becoming a little stupid to
And
to chase it, to chase each other, and in a cutthroat economic kind of mentality when 80% of the people are suffering from that game and it only benefits a few. All of these things are gradually becoming, but if you try to just, immediately force some changes like that from top down, you're dealing with communism or socialism all over again, which means, power goes to a few people and they decide, force their will on the opinion of the
so
people,
we
of the
saw,
public.
until
Yeah.
this generation, we saw how it would take generations for people to amass a certain amount of wealth. And now in this generation, in 10 years, you can get, somebody can go from zero, living in his mother's basement, to being a billionaire. So there are forces that are at play in nature now that are exponentially changing things. So if we are able, and society is measured by the majority. That's why how important it is that we're talking about these things, educating ourselves through these things, because if enough people start to understand, start to feel the changes that are coming, and start to calibrate themselves internally, then humanity gets to go through that kind of exponential change. We don't have to wait and figure and lobby a certain politician or whatever. There, it will naturally, the new thoughts will enter the air. The new thoughts will enter people, the new feelings will enter people's hearts. It'll be just like that. And we can go through the same kind of exponential change as a species, that we see technology, we see wealth, we see all these things like doing this kind of hockey stick curve. It's called,
Yeah.
where it goes like that.
Yeah.
And we don't
Well,
have to solve every problem pragmatically right away on paper and in our spreadsheets. We have to, engage ourselves. But as we start moving towards that, as humanity starts moving towards that, and once we start participating with the way that nature is moving us, there's infinite power available. And we can move through, we as humans can go from, building a stone house to building a brick house, to slowly, slowly, slowly. And then boom, it's like $1 billion. I was living in my mother's basement, and now I have $1 billion 10 years later. We as humanity will go through that same kind of thing. We thought I needed to sit in rush hour traffic every day. We thought that I needed to get autoimmune diseases where my body starts attacking itself because of what I'm eating. Like, what? We thought that I needed to constantly be in stress and fighting with my coworkers, my family, my this. We thought that all of the media that I put on us to teach me about drug abuse and teach me about murder and teach me about stealing and lying, like, that's the way we expected life needs to be.
yeah.
And all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
and every evolution, every true evolution, even if you look at history, although I think the kind of evolution that we're facing now is unprecedented. I don't think we can really look at history, because the world was never globally connected. Period. End of story. There was never a global interdependence in mankind the way that there is today that changes the game completely. But still, even if you look at big major shifts that happened in the social formation of human society, like, I don't know, the move from slavery to different kind. I'm not even talking about recent, relatively recent slavery. I'm talking about generally moving from, in the past, people who were considered slaves, they didn't recognize that they're slaves. You know what I mean? They didn't recognize that there's a different way to live. The if you think about even feudalism, right? It wasn't like, oh, we are basically some sort of slaves to these masters of the land or something like that. It was just, this is how you live, until things have changed, and the humans started thinking differently as well. And so today too, we are locked in a certain way about how it needs to be, with our needs for our material needs, and how we conduct ourselves in society and working, and all those things, that it's just hard for us to imagine and to think about a different kind of life, which is again why we need education and we need a vision. We need to see what we can become, what we can live for, what is the thing that really makes us objectively happy. You know what I mean? Not what is it that makes the human happy? Do we do can we Is this something we can agree on? It's true that there are different flavors and preferences, but you know what, there's also a bunch of science amassing gradually more and more, increasingly growing body of knowledge, showing that our true happiness comes not from the stuff we have, but from the experiences we have with other people. We're wired in a certain way, and so gradually we need to evolve to understand who we are, what we want out of life, and how to make that happen in the best possible way for everyone. Um, Nature will push us to it anyway. It'll happen. It's just a matter of how much suffering we have to go through on the way there. It's inevitable. Do we have a song to conclude this?
We have a song. Thank you. This is the most unusual. I mean, maybe it's going on in other places, but this seems to me the most unusual online chat of anywhere I've seen. Hello, Ahmed in Libya.
Unusual in a
Mechanical
good
Elf.
way. You got to say
In a
unusual
good way.
in
You
an
had people here
amazing way.
for an hour making messages, and nobody told the other one that they're a stinking
Yeah.
Nazi, and no,
Wow. I got. Yeah. Just go ahead.
nobody
Yeah.
hated on the other one.
Yeah.
And we have men here, we have women here, we have older, we have younger, we have from all over the world. We even have people mention a religion or something like that, and nobody criticized them. So, anyway, this is remarkable. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. And we expect that as people find this and are interested, if people are actually interested in this topic, which we think that people are, that our friends from Minnesota, Ohio, Puerto Rico, Quebec, India, Arkansas, North Carolina, the Netherlands, everywhere, that when people start coming here, that they feel that
Ghana.
there's,
I got a few more places that I noticed in the chats. Ghana is here with us. Portugal is here. Did you say Portugal?
I don't think
Um,
so.
Jerusalem is here, and I also saw, what was it? And Jersey, New Jersey is here. Uh,
All
yeah,
right.
someone is there close to you. Virginia is here as well.
Okay,
Um,
Mechanical Elves wants to know, how do we find out if we are multidimensional? You're multidimensional. We have to, it's like is there, are there radio stations? Are there songs going through the air right now? Yeah, there are. Do I have a device in front of me that I could tune the frequency of my radio to the frequency in the room? And do I have a speaker so that I could hear it? Well, no, I don't. So I don't hear anything. But if we learn to calibrate our new senses, our five new senses, which maybe one day we'll discuss, we'll start to perceive um, something else. Lucinda also had a question. Yeah, we haven't been getting to questions at all, Saf. I would love to know what I did wrong to be cut out of the conversation. I don't know what
oh,
that means. YouTube cut her out of
I
the
think that's
conversation.
another technical. We seen this before happening, you guys. We're very sorry if this happened to you. We'll look into it. There was someone else. I think slightly slanted sleuth, our friend,
Yeah, a few months ago
a
or
few
whatever, had an
months
issue.
ago or something had an issue. Sometimes the YouTube algorithms they cut people from our chat, and they can't. We don't know why it's happening. We're sorry. It's not us. please try to maybe connect with a new account. I think that's what worked for Slightly Slanted Sleuth. I'm not sure though. We'll look into it, Lucinda, if we can. We want everyone's input, and we're sorry if something like this is happening. It's not us. The
Okay. Also, Pam is here from
Yeah.
Brazil. Hey, Pam. All right,
Yes.
everybody. Lots of love. We'll see you Sunday. Thank you, Yetzi and Taj and Mary and Julie and Francine and P. Marlin and Ahmed and Isabel in Brooklyn. Everybody, thank you. Big Deborah, big hug to everybody. We will see you.
Sylvia from Guatemala is here as well.
We have maybe a new friend here, Soterios. Oh, I'm not sure I could pronounce this name, but hello. Let us know how to pronounce your name. And if
We
you're
love
first
you
time
as
with us,
well.
thank you. Yeah. So we'll see you Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Asaf and I will do our best to not wear our same shirts next time.
Where's the song, man? You got a song?
Here we go. Yeah, I got you.
Let's dance, baby.
Started in a garden where there was a snake, there was some trouble. I started as a monkey, but look at me now. There was no God to cling to, so I made a temple and I made a statue, and I spent my time smoking and drinking my wine. Shot out of my dad, swam into my mom, one amongst billions. Now what were the odds? And it only took me 1,000 lifetimes. If you wanna be rich, look for rich. If you wanna be smart, look for smart. I wanna know the reason why I feel like shit. It's a question from this point in my heart. A regal heart and vagabond shoes. I followed you here. Your scent is my muse, and I want you. All that will be has already been written. Flow like an atom, you're in a system. You're connected from in front and behind. So thanks for the good and thanks for the bad, for the call in the morning that straightens my head. And now nature's made me a spiritual man. You wanna be rich, look for rich. If you wanna be smart, look for smart. I wanna know the reason why I feel like shit. It's a question from this point in my